January 25th, LFA debuts in the Land of Enchantment. We got one half of the main event joining us right now. Harvey Park, FightBot. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Last time we talked to you, I think you were in the process of having a finger put back in your hand. So, I guess everybody would want to know right away, how's the right hand doing? How's the index finger?
Oh, it's good. It's healed up. It's ready to go.
So, tell us about that. Was there any recovery, anything in the process? Did you have to sideline for a couple weeks? What happened?
I mean, it looked a lot worse than it was. It was just a dislocation. They said it that same night, and then it takes like 6 weeks to heal. And the bone was all, they put everything back in place. It just takes the ligaments and whatnot 6 weeks. So, we tried to stay run in, did some mitts, just with the left hand, kept kicking. And then after about 6 or 7 weeks, we started punching with the right hand. So after like 6 weeks, it was good to strike with. It just wasn't good for grappling. So just because, the grip strength was kind of compromised. So we just continued with mitt work and running. And then about 8 weeks after it happened, we started grappling again and wrestling. And just back to full strength now.
And I knew when we had talked to you on the Instagram video, there was only a little bit of worry on the doctor's point. It was going to be more if there was any tendon damage. So, guessing once you got all sewed up, you were able to heal and there were none of those speed bumps in the way?
I mean, there were tears and whatnot because, the bone came out, but they healed, correctly. It just takes time. I've actually dislocated my other finger as well, and it always just takes it just takes time. There's nothing you can do for it.
Have you went back and watched the fight?
Yeah, I've watched it a few times.
You look back, what do you think?
It's a good experience. You can't, there's only one way to get it, and some kind of adversity in the fight was good. Definitely had to switch up the game plan right after the first round, but we were able to make adjustments, and just the experience of fighting through an injury and having all that adversity in the fight is valuable.
Having yourself denied of one weapon and having to utilize the rest of those weapons, how do you look back on that kind of learning experience?
It is what it is. My right hand, that's probably my best strike, but it wasn't the striking, it was the grappling. Because the way the knuckles broke, I'm not really hitting anyone with that knuckle. But what really compromised was the grip strength, and it really, the second round I thought I would wrestle, and the grappling was I couldn't grip anything, so we had to go back to striking.
And now, returning to practice, returning to grappling, everything's felt the same?
Yeah, I mean, it's 100%. It's all back to normal.
And then, when did you start looking for a fight?
Well, we had this one on our radar, and we had heard rumors that LFA was coming to New Mexico, and around this time, and that's why we stayed in shape. I knew that if it came to New Mexico, I'd want to be on that card. So whenever we started to hear about it, we said that we're good to go and healed up and wanted to do it.
And you got the top billing. You're there on the marquee, on the poster, the main event. Were you surprised by it?
No, man. I got a great record. I've fought some really good guys, and it's just it's due. I wasn't surprised at all, especially if it's going to be in New Mexico. I did most of my work in this state, in Texas, so pretty big draw here.
Does it feel nice returning to the state and not having to worry about as much travel, Colorado and Arizona for the last two?
Yeah, it's nice. Albuquerque, we know everything. We know what we like to do there. The travel never bothers me as long as we get good accommodations and get out of here a day or two early. So but it'll be nice to be back in New Mexico where I know everyone and fought so many times.
Looking at Jaleel Willis, what do you think of the challenge in front of you?
Hey man, it gets me excited. I want to fight good guys. I just want to see what I can do and where I'm at, and I'm looking for someone that can test me. And I've watched his fights. He does a lot of things well, and it gets me real excited to see my skills versus his, and who can make the adjustments and who can come out on top.
What do you think is going to be a key factor in this one?
Wrestling and cardio. I think he'll want to wrestle a lot, and I don't think it's gonna. I don't think his wrestling will give me any problems unless he can get me tired. And if he gets tired, then he's gonna be in trouble, So I think his wrestling is the kind of style where he's gonna try and wear you out. But if he wears himself out, that's gonna be real bad for him.
We've talked about the wrestling and the cardio before. How much of an emphasis has, the cardio especially been, and I really feel like that ever since the first LFA fight?
Cardio, always an emphasis for me, and we're always working hard on it. Wrestling, cardio for every fight. You want to, work your ass off for cardio. You always want your cardio, but sometimes you got to change your game plan if you're fighting striker, if you're fighting wrestler, jiu-jitsu guy. Kind of emphasis a little bit of, offensive, defensive in that discipline. So cardio, we still grinding away, doing our workouts, but, this one, we added more wrestling, more jiu-jitsu, more defensive wrestling, things like that to kind of, counter someone's strengths.
Also recently with LFA, man, you met up there in Vail, Colorado, Austin Hubbard. He collected that LFA title. How do you look back on that fight now with him having seen what he accomplished?
Well, he's got that same style. He's trying to wear you out and beat you up in the late rounds. And, I've talked about that Vail fight and what I thought of that. I'm glad he won. If you lose to someone and they can go on winning, it only makes you look better. And not to get ahead of anything, but I think it's a good narrative for a rematch. Me and him again someday in the future.
Not wanting to get ahead of yourself again. When you look at Jaleel, he's coming down a weight class. Do you expect that to have any bearing on this fight?
I don't know. I've never met him. I don't know how. He seemed like a good sized welterweight. The thing about coming down a weight class is it can be super beneficial or it can be detrimental. And without having done it, you don't know. So this is really his experiment, and we'll see which one it is.
We're coming off the holidays. How was your holiday season?
It was awesome. I got a big family, so I always have a great holiday.
And then we're getting into the new year. Have you got any New Year's resolution, any goals that we're talking about for 2019?
I don't do New Year's because if I got a goal, I never wait. I seize the opportunity and put my best foot forward. I don't wait for January 1. But same as always, bigger fights, win fights, and never take a step backwards, always going forwards.
Moving forward, do you look at Jaleel as the toughest opponent that you faced to date?
I'll tell you after the fight. I've fought guys like him before, wrestler. I really think he's gonna do a lot of wrestling, kind of grinder and wear you out. Until we get in there and see what each other got, I don't know. But I could tell you after the fight.
And what's been the motto of this camp going forward? What's really been key with you and Eric?
I don't know, man. same. I've been with Eric so long. We know what we like to do, and it's always hard work. I guess the motto for every camp is hard work and discipline. You got to fight and you got to compete. So the fighting, that's kind of intangible, and the tangible is to compete. You got to wake up every day. You got to do your runs every day. You got to not miss practice. You need to eat right, the discipline. And so this camp, I guess, is hard work, but every camp is hard work.
It's 2 fights now going to that next level. You were a local headliner here, and it was great to see you get to the LFA. Has it felt like, with these last 2 fights, that you've taken that next step, that you're in that next level of competition?
The last 2 opponents have been better. They've been higher competition. They have been better fighters. And, well, that's not even, I can't even say that, because before that, I had been fighting same kind of records, international guys, people from all over the world. So, really, when I was main eventing for the Jackson series, that competition is really high as well. What's different is LFA has notoriety, and it's on TV, and people are watching it, and they've really built their promotion up the right way, and people know to go there to see talent and to see the next generation of fighters that are trying to make their way up.
Do you feel like you've gotten any of that reflected, any of that notoriety, fanfare? Have you felt any of that?
Oh, yeah. You can tell what kind of attention you're getting if you got any social media right after your fight, even from the lowest level of, small regional promotions all the way up to this LFA. After you fight, you can almost, gauge how much exposure you get, because your social media is going to go off. And if you're getting, a lot of people from around New Mexico or where I live, that's probably, but then when you get to LFA, you start to get more attention, and it's, people that are from international or national, and it's just, you can tell the difference and how much exposure you get based on, the promotion, and you can really tell when you pick up your phone and see it going off.
For you specifically, I wonder about balance. How do you balance out your schedule? No, there's family, obviously the law enforcement job that you have, and then training. How do you find balance in your schedule?
So like with me, there'll be a week where I just don't even sit on my couch or turn on my TV, and I like it. That's what I like. So there's only so many hours of the day, but there's enough to do what I want to do, and it's just an efficient schedule. You got to work, and then when I get off work, it's not like I sit on the couch for a couple hours. No, it's minutes, and I'm changing into other clothes to go hit the gym, or I'm doing something with my family. I'm not wasting time doing things that aren't beneficial. So I just gotta efficiently use that time.
And obviously, still enjoying this journey, still enjoying martial arts and MMA and everything you're doing, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could call me selfish, because if I don't enjoy it, I'm not going to do it. I understand. I tell my kids, and I tell people, a lot of things in life you're going to have to do that you don't want to. But for the most part, I enjoy everything I do. I might not, want to eat bland chicken and brown rice for a week or two, but in the bigger picture, I enjoy what the outcome is, and making the weight, and maybe that small little minute I don't enjoy, but and I'd rather have a pizza, but you're disciplined, you're going to enjoy the bigger aspect of it.
Can you tell us a little about for you, motivation, inspiration? What keeps that fire burning?
Well, motivation. I love to compete, and I want to win, and competition is something I really love. And people think, fight is, the fight that night. No, the whole fight, the competition, you got to compete for 6 weeks. You've got to be running and eating and things like that. And I'm just it just motivates me, just knowing that the competition is going. Like, as soon as we start camp, I'm in competition. Like, I'm working, and that's how I stay motivated. I know Jaleel's probably doing the same thing, so that's how I stay motivated. I don't know about inspired. I might need to be, somebody might need to inspire me as I don't have any individuals or anything like that, but you could say maybe I'm inspired by seeing other people that work this hard, and it inspires you to keep up your hard work and stay motivated.
Been 2 fights on the road with LFA. You get to come home. You get the main event showcase. Does this have a different feel to it than the other main events in the past, than the lead up to the other fights, now that it's a main event in your home state with this platform?
It feels the same in some ways, but we're still 3 weeks out. And, I've main evented a lot for Jackson Series and in Albuquerque, Santa Fe, whatnot. And right now it feels the same because we're in the grind and I'm doing what I always do and I'm working hard. The week of, or maybe starting to get closer to the fight, I'm anticipating it might start to feel a little different, seeing your billboard up or more interviews, more media. But at this point, it's the same hard work, the same grinding away, just working hard and eating right. And that's all the same as of now. But we'll see the closer we get.
I believe this is going to be the first time that you and Abel are on the same card together, correct?
Yeah, it is correct. Abel's well established. By the time I made my first amateur fight, he was actually the guest commentator / I guess in-ring personality, and interviewed me after my first fight. So it's a pretty big deal for me to have 9 years later be fighting on the same card as him. Someone I've always looked up to, and another law enforcement officer, someone that lives his life the right way, and it means a lot for me to fight on the same card as him.
And how has that relationship been since you started training with you guys at Force and One? That you do
well, able to train with him is great. Just he's got lots of knowledge and he's skilled, and he pushes hard, and you get seeing someone else work hard, that is inspirational. And then when it comes to law enforcement, we'll share stories and whatnot, but mostly when me and him get to the gym, we're working hard. We might have a funny story we might share with each other or bounce something off each other, but mostly at the gym, it's just hard work.
What do you expect from 2019?
More fights, bigger fights, and this Jaleel fight, I'm gonna win this one, and it's either that LFA belt or Dana's calling me, and if those two don't happen, then we're just taking the next fight we get, and we're just gonna keep grinding, and we're gonna keep working hard.
One last thing. You fly the flag for Force of One, being that guy right now, the first one to really get on that big stage coming from the gym. How important is you not only flying the flag of the gym, but also being from Clovis down there?
Clovis is awesome. Force One is awesome. A small community like that, even, and being a public servant, I am out in the community every day, and people talk to me about fighting. People want to ask me about my finger, and I want to do good, and really, I tell you, I'm selfish. I want to do good for myself. Like, I want to fight, and I'm competitive, but it always makes me feel better that people are proud of me, and they say, hey, man, you did good, you made us proud, things like that. And the community in Clovis is very close knit. It's a small community. People know you. People recognize you, and it really makes you feel good about yourself.
LFA 58, January 25th, Harvey Park, Jaleel Willis, the main event, Abel Cullum, Damasio Page, the co-main event, a 6-stat card that we have for LFA coming out here. Harvey, last but not least, who are the people that you need to thank, you need to shout out to?
Of course, my coaches here in Clovis, Eric, Jose, and Seth, my jiu-jitsu coach, Brian Tuala, always helping me out with my wrestling and just MMA overall when I come out to Albuquerque. Big shout out to my manager, Ricky. I wouldn't be getting these big fights without him. Jackson's on Acoma. I'm going to be up there this Saturday working out with Nick or so and whoever shows up. So, training partners, sponsors, everyone, just a big shout out. And just stay tuned.
Also, forgot to throw it out there. How can everybody follow you on social media?
Most of my social media is Harvey Park MMA. So Instagram, Harvey Park MMA. Twitter, Harvey Park MMA. Facebook, Harvey Park MMA. Those are the big three. Stay pretty active on all of them. So if you want an opportunity for sponsoring or you have any questions, go ahead and just contact me on there. And we also have tickets available. I have some tickets in hand, and if not, you can go to lfatix.com to buy them.
LFA 58 at the Route 66 Casino, January 25th, or watch it on Access TV. Harvey, thanks for the time.